Hey guys, gonna go into round three now. We lost round one and won round two in pretty strong fashion. And in round one, we put up a pretty good fight, but got blown out by, uh, got beaten anyway by an opponent with Pyromancer's goggles who managed to get it both games. Um, this is kind of an iffy hand. We have 5 lands and 2 creatures, but we do have a 1 drop and a 3 drop. And I think I'm actually inclined to keep it. In this format where you really need the early drops, so I think I'll keep it. If we draw a bunch of lands, we're going to be a little regretful, but this is a hand where it's hard to know whether or not you should mulligan. Mulligan might have been a little safer, but I think I'm happy with what we've got. Be nice if we could just draw a bunch of Fairy Miscreants. They have liked us so far, that's for sure. The Undead Servants haven't been as forthcoming with their their luck, anyway. Looks like our opponent might not be here the last round. A couple of the players took a really long time, so he may have left for a while. So I'll pause and be back when my opponent returns. Hey guys, our opponent is now here, and we will lead with our Fairy Miscreant. Took our opponent a while to get here, so we do have a time advantage, if nothing else. Anointer of Champions? No, Bonded Construct. Okay. We do not want to draw lands. That will be bad. And we drew a land. It's not what we want to be doing right now. That was the danger about keeping this hand. But if we draw, we can play anything in our deck, basically, with the cards we have in our hand, with the lands we have in our hand, so at least there's that. Opponent cannot attack yet. Okay, good. Now we have to choose 3-drop, and I'll probably choose Watercourser so it can swing through a Bonded Construct, and the Deadbird Shaman can't. If he wanted to block, I guess it would be a pretty good deal, but not that good of one. Bonded Construct isn't exactly something I want to be trading for most of the time. Ooh, well, that makes his Bonded Construct better, that's for sure. It can't attack alone, so I'm not sure what our opponent's doing there. So our opponent seems to have an artifact deck, despite being in green and white. May just be a coincidence that these are the first few cards he played. So we will swing in with just our fairy. And we drew a land, but at least it's a land that does something later. And we'll play Deadbird Shaman and an island. This lets us, we can trade with both of his creatures now. And I'm okay with that, I think. Maybe not. I may just block the Chief of the Foundry, actually, if he wanted to attack with it. He'd have to attack with it if he wanted to attack with his Bonded Construct, so. Yeah, I think I just block the Chief of the Foundry with the Deadbird Shaman. If he has a trick, he has a trick. If he doesn't, even if he has a trick, he gets 2 for 1 here, so that's the good news. Unless it's, well, yeah, even Celestial Flare is a 2 for 1, yeah. Alright, makes him discard a card at least, in addition to his Celestial Flare, and we take 3. See what he discards. Guardian Automaton. So yeah, it seems like our opponent went pretty deep on artifacts, interestingly, despite not being in colors that really benefit from that. Our draw just now was pretty sweet. I wish we had a Chief of the Foundry on our side of the table, though. But we will swing. And we'll play Whirler Rogue. And I will also play a land. So, oh, I should have tapped my lands differently there. That was a mistake. I wanted to leave an island up so that I could block the Chief of the Foundry with my Watercourser, but I'll just take 5 here. Something big. Yeah, that's not great. Our Watercourser can trade with it if need be. We do need removal, but we didn't draw it. I think we just attack with our flyers. And we also play our Foundry of the Consuls. And we end the turn. I'd probably block here with Watercourser and pump it twice so that I can kill the Rock Smaulers. Yeah, I mean, we're going to take a lot of damage in the process, but it does take down a pretty big creature. Celestial Flare again. We'll know to play around that in the next game at least. But yeah, that makes us take a lot of damage. We take almost lethal. And if we don't draw a removal spell here, we're pretty much out of this one. Going to 3 and staring down a 6/6 Trampler. Another Construct. That is not removal, and it can't draw us removal that we can use right away. Yeah, I'm just going to scoop. There's no way out of this. So we know he has multiple Celestial Flares, so we need to play around those next time. It's easy for us to play around them attacking, but in blocking he used it pretty effectively. We don't have any artifact hate, so that's unfortunate for us. Disperse seems pretty good. It's slowing down those vigor drops that he has, and also against the Bonded Construct. Maybe we take out Skav Goliath. It is a nice top of the curve guy, but I think we cut him and put in a Disperse so we can interact a little more early. Yeah. So our Undead Servant may be out of chances to try to show up for us. That'd be a little sad. But hopefully we get a few of them here. Okay, this is a very good hand. More of what I would like to see. We do need a second swamp for it to be like ideal, but it's good. We have multiple ways to interact with his early creatures, and we also have a 3-drop and a really good creature in Guiltleaf Winnower. Opponent taking a while to decide whether or not to mulligan. Which, if he keeps, is probably more in our favor, and if he doesn't keep, doesn't really matter that much. But usually if you have to think about a mulligan, there's some chance that you shouldn't be keeping it, as we did with our first hand, for example. Play a land and end the turn. Bonded Construct. Our opponent is filled, his deck seems filled with them. Alright, we got another 3-drop and one that can just laugh at Bonded Construct, so that's pretty nice. See what he plays here. It's like a Topin Freeblade. I use like Reeve's Soul. It's just an Elvish Visionary. That means I don't use Reeve's Soul. So next turn I'll just flash in the Mizzium Meddlers to block the Bonded Construct. Right, there's a second swamp we need. And I think that's good. He may use like a Celestial Flare again on us, but I think that's okay, all things considered. I mean, it may be better to just block the Elvish Visionary since it enables Bonded Construct, but Okay, so we know he's tapped out now, but we also are now unable to block and kill the Bonded Construct. And I'll use Reef Soul and the Chief of the Foundry. I'd probably play Mizzium Meddlers and block the Elvish Visionary just so I can kill something here. And take 3, then Reef Soul on the Chief. Which then makes him attacking into my Mizzium Meddlers awkward, so he won't be able to attack next turn anyway, since we'll have killed both of the friends of his Bonded Construct. Ooh, Undead Servant. That's what we want. So yeah, we're gonna go ahead and reave this thing's soul. It ended up being pretty instrumental for him in game 1. And because of that, we can now attack without much fear into the jaws of the Bonded Construct, since it won't be able to attack back at us this turn. Another Bonded Construct. Does he have a third Bonded Construct? Sword of the Animist. Okay. No attacking will be done. Okay. Believe it or not, I think I do play Guiltleaf Winnower here to kill one of them. It's not like the highest value play, but it does put me pretty far ahead on the board and gives me a big body on the board. So I think we do that. Blow one of them up. The other one can't attack next turn. And we also have Disperse to fall back on. So the big creature we saw in the last game can't be killed by Guiltleaf Winnower anyway, not by its Enter the Battlefield's ability anyway. So this is the downside of Bonded Constructs is, you know, obviously that they can't attack alone, and you can just keep dealing with your opponent's threats that aren't the Bonded Construct, and they're in pretty big trouble. But we haven't managed to take a huge advantage of it. So, right, Suppression Bonds is annoying, but that does mean, again, you won't be able to attack next turn. And we can also disperse our own Guiltleaf Winnower, which is actually pretty filthy now that I think about it. We're going to attack with Mizzium Meddlers. And then I think I play Deadbridge Shaman so that I can leave Disperse up in case he plays a big threat this turn that I want to bounce. But dispersing my own Guiltleaf Winnower also seems pretty great since it removes the suppression bonds. We get to play it again and blow up his Bonded Construct. So, okay, Blessed Spirits. Seems like more of an Unholy Hunger target than anything else. So I think we do disperse our own Guiltleaf Winnower at the end of our opponent's turn. Use it to blow up his Bonded Construct. He's leaving mana untapped, which to me means he probably has, what am I thinking of? The Celestial Flare. So we're going to sort of play around that by attacking with Deadbridge Shaman as well. Well, we're not really offering him anything great this turn if we swing with both. So I think we play the Winnower again and use it to blow up the Construct. And then we swing with both creatures, and, you know, it's not really a good time for him to be Celestial Flaring if that's what he's got. Yeah, so he just takes the 3, which sounds good to me. Okay, now he's going to Celestial Flare. Leaning towards sacking the Meddler here, now that it's become less relevant. And the 3 damage is very relevant right now. So yeah, we'll sack the Meddler. His guy was going to survive anyway, so take him to 14. He can put the sword on his Blessed, Blessed Spirits, which is pretty good. But we do have Unholy Hunger. And we do also have Spell Mastery. I don't really think I use Unholy Hunger on this thing at this point. I mean, it really depends on what our opponent shows us, but I don't see myself using it. We know he has some big scary creatures that we'd rather hit with Unholy Hunger. We swing with 2 creatures again. We would have anyway, but we always want to be doing that against an opponent with Celestial Flare. I think I hold on to Unholy Hunger, and I think I drop Undead Servant, since that represents, well, we had lethal anyway, I guess. In the event that he has a board sweeper, I think I just stopped there. Now if we swing with all 3, we just have lethal. So I think I stopped there just in case he has Tragic Arrogance, which would be pretty great for him right now. So Chief of the Foundry, all right. I mean, if he wants to swing here, he loses. He has another flare in his hand, he won't lose, but he's playing something now, so he's moving it over. Okay, I think that gives us the game because we can blow up one of his creatures. So I think we blow up the Chief of the Foundry, even though it doesn't have flying. It can wreak more havoc on the creatures I currently have in play. So I'm just gonna Unholy Hunger the Chief. Go up to 16 and then swing with everybody. That should be game. He doesn't have, if he has Swift Reckoning, I guess it's not. If he doesn't actually have Spell Mastery, so that should be game. Oh, or, that. No, right, yeah. Go Leaf Winnower can't be blocked because of Menace. So I was right. For a second I was like, wow, I didn't just think about the fact that he could block my Winnower. All right, onward to game 3. We have won 1 game in every round, if nothing else. Our deck has proved pretty strong. It's also lost, of course, but such is variance. I think we just leave things as they are now. Yeah. Still have not pulled off any Undead Servant shenanigans, which is a little disappointing. And we haven't gotten Shadows of the Past at all either, which is pretty sad. Last time I drafted it, I got it like 1,000,000 times. And there's Shadows of the Past, and we're on the draw, so I think I keep this. I do need to draw some stuff, some lands especially. But we got a good chance to do that given the number of times we get to draw in the next few turns. We'll lead with the Fairy Miscreant. I mean, if you count the number of lands and the number of Fairy Miscreants left in our library, our chances are pretty good that we draw something that we want to draw. Plus, Shadows of the Past can help us get there too. Token Freeblade is not good news. We do have a Separatist Void Mage for later, but not drawing the land we want is not good. We'll play Shadows of the Past. Trying to decide if I just want to lose my Miscreant so that I can scry. I kind of think I do. As desperately as we need a 3rd land, I think that's a pretty good trade. We keep that from getting Renown, and we get to scry one. Try to hit a land. And it puts a creature in our graveyard, which could be relevant later. We're sort of incentivized a little more. Okay, that is a land. It's not a colored one, but I think we need lands bad enough that we can't be that picky. It won't let us do anything next turn, but I think that's okay. We have not done a good job of drawing out of decent hands, like with 2 lands or 5 lands. We've just drawn either all creatures or all lands when we've done that. And yeah, Undercity Troll, seeing that is not good. At least we can Claustrophobia that later, but we can't do anything right now. And that's not great. So if we draw a land, I'll be pretty happy. But we're just going to take 4 here. They're both going to get pumped up. And that's not what we really want to be happening here. If I draw a land, I'd probably Separatist Void Mage the Troll away, I think is what I would go for. Well, he might be playing something else that we want to bounce more. Yeah, I may want to bounce that even more. Do need to actually draw a land. God. Brutal. Okay, well, we pretty much lose this game. No real way out of it. We've had some really bad luck in this draft. And we're probably going to finish 1 and 2, which isn't great, but I'll probably post this anyway because it was a pretty cool draft, ending up with 4 Undead Servants and 4 Fairy Miscreants. So, yeah, and I mean, we still aren't out of this exactly. Like, if we draw a land right now, we can sort of turn things around. Depends what he plays right now. I think we'd have to play our Whirler Rogue. We need to draw an island. Nah, we lose. Yep. Just really bad card drawing when we kept 2 landers or 5 landers, and just awful luck. But that's okay. It was a fun draft. We had some fun with the deck, too. We at least won 1 game in every round. So anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.